Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 8. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Out comes the 37-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, ready to lead the Steelers. And he led the entire NFL in passing yards in 2018, the second time that he's owned that honor. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
6-man. Check curls, check curls, check curls.
First carry for James Conner. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. James Conner, his 4th touchdown on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, they said they wanted to have some explosive runs. How about that one to start the game?
And I would say on the defensive sideline, there's a lot to answer for. Because you spend all week saying, stop the run. I don't care who you're playing. You don't want to get run over. You don't want to get run past. And they have both. Overcommitting in the secondary, and he just went stepping past them and is still running, essentially.
One play, and he hits pay dirt. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Chargers under third-year coach Anthony Lynn. They will be led out by their veteran quarterback now in his 16th season from NC State, Phillip Rivers.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. With that, let's check out how the Chargers line up on offense.
It's always fun to check in on the Chargers when Melvin Gordon's carrying the football. And in 2018, he averaged over 5 yards per attempt. But even more importantly, he put the ball in the end zone 14 times, his best scoring season in his young career.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Melvin Gordon, the 2-time Pro Bowler. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Rivers on 3rd and 2. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt able to record his 5th sack of the season. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go.
There is a hush indeed. Switzer on the return. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. James Conner and the Steelers ready to get their next drive going. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
Now it's Conner. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
On second down, it's Connor. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean so he can roam through the football and make a tackle. In this case, he introduced himself and said, "Hello, my name is Mike."
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he hit a 62-yarder that hit the crossbar and went over this one a little bit inside of that, but not enough legs.
And the difference is what?
Well, your live conditions, right?
Live conditions, game conditions are a whole lot different than practice, where you just pop it up there, no rush, no pressure. I think maybe that takes a couple yards away from you when you have to do it when it's real. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
This pass finds its way to Williams. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. He finds his receiver, Williams, for a Charger touchdown. Mike Williams, his fourth touchdown on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Scoring summary, 3-play drive. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
On second down now, it's Connor. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. What happened there? Was that just a missed assignment on the O-line?
It certainly felt like it, but also the speed of the play. When you talk about defensive end, they want to be ahead of the clock, don't they? They want to be upfield, making plays on every snap. How about his agility there to run that one down?
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Rivers out quickly here to Allen. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
190. Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. They'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Leads to 3rd and 11.
These two teams all tied after 1.
190.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. That good for 19 and a 1st down. Gordon, a Pro Bowler for the 2nd time last season, 885 yards, 10 touchdowns, and that was only in 12 games played a season ago. And he also switched jersey numbers in the offseason from 28 to 25, and 25, that's the number he wore when he was dominating the Big Ten college gridiron for the Badgers of Wisconsin. Rivers will get this one to Williams. He'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now Gordon on 1st down. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
On 2nd down, it's Gordon. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
To throw is Rivers. Able to get this to Gordon. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
A reminder coming up tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. It's the Packers' 2nd home primetime game in 3 weeks as they host their NFC North rivals, the Detroit Lions. Kickoff 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
On 2nd down now, it's Connor. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
The versatility of Derwin James comes right into play there. Whether he's playing deep safety or playing close to the line of scrimmage, always a threat to get around the ball carrier and put him on the ground. The surprise to me on draft night, that he lasted to the number 17 pick with the Los Angeles Chargers. I thought he would go earlier.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Joey Bosa in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They'll begin with much more advantageous starting field position than they did on their last drive as they come up here 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. Call it an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Now Rivers. Open man, it's Allen. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
23 yards on the play. A nice little completion there by Phillip Rivers. And you and I were reading the article yesterday, 5th grade. Rivers had to do a project where he had to make a poster about his dreams and aspirations. So he clipped out a football player from a magazine article and pasted his face on the helmet. That's what he wanted to be, and it turned out okay.
Not so bad. Not so bad at all. Remember, he's the son of a coach. And on that play, I think he made the old coach proud with that completion.
On 2nd down, Rivers again. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. So it's 3rd and long for the Chargers, and Rivers after the sack. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. Gets it to Gordon. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
That's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Badgley's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. The Chargers, a team that's really been plagued by poor field goal kicking the last decade or so, but I think they feel they've solved their problems with Badgley.
I would say so. He went 15 for 16 in 10 games last season, undrafted out of Miami. And remember, he had 5 field goals in the playoffs against the Baltimore Ravens.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, Time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL.
And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Chargers to take over. Last week they defeated the Broncos, and they've got the lead here as well as they work with a 1st and 10. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 27. Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. He's airing it out for a fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Steven Nelson. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Hey, alert, 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 alert!
Here's Roethlisberger. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Chargers will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10.
Black 11! Orange 5-4.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that.
And now he's taken down, and Rivers in the end zone. Down to the ground he goes. That results in a safety and 2 points. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Ooh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
That's a lot of points.
All day, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Here's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 33 yards that time. This is something that we know that they like to do, incorporating him out of the backfield into their passing attack.
And it's not just a check down option either. This is a full part of their offense, and they rely on the fact that they can get the ball in his hands.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Roethlisberger to throw. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Ben to throw again. And this is going to be incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10.
Ready.
So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at the 20.
Here we go.
Here's a quick throw caught by Allen. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. Well, last year, Henry really looked poised for a prime breakout season, but then May 22nd, tore his ACL during OTAs, ruled out for the year. Actually was added to the active roster in a pretty heroic return for their playoff clash with New England, but did not play. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Ryan Shazier got in that time, the first-round pick of 2014.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's John Ryan now as he's on to punt for L.A. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here's Switzer. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over.
Black 20. Here we go, D. All day.
On 1st and 10 is Counter. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3. Check, 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 check.
Again, it's Counter. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Motion, 89. Watch 89. Check 31, check 31. Snicker, now spin. 50.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Watch the screen, watch the screen.
On 2nd down. It's Connor. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Steelers on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Here we go. Here we go.
The Chargers getting set to go. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
That throw into the arms of Allen. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Phillip Rivers, no stranger to fourth-quarter comebacks. He's led the Chargers back to victory 26 times coming into this year. But work to do here if he wants to add another notch to the belt. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Roethlisberger setting up the screen. This is Samuels. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll force upon them a 3rd and 14. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Casey Hayward, the Pro Bowler, there to knock it away. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Phillip Rivers now gears up to lead the offense on the field. And the interception that ended their previous drive, that might be one we look back on and say that was the turning point of this game.
Hey, partner, guess what? There's still time for a few more turning points in this ball game. They're only 1 score down.
Yeah, true. We could have some twists and turns. Stay tuned. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. They go play action. Rivers. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. T.J. Watt make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
He'll take it a few steps in front of the 50. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. We come up here on 1st and 10. Oh, no, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free. But a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On 2nd down now. It's Connor. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh 1st.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential as well. 2 points here in the 4th quarter. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Right back to Connor here on 1st. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Connor. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
You better bring. I'm letting you know right now, you better bring. Switch.
On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Chargers going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. Roethlisberger keeps it. And no signal, but I don't think he got the surge behind center. No, he's going to be kept out of the end zone. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Big Ben going to take it himself. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Now, that was a little too conservative for my liking. It's only 2nd down, and they try to run the sneak. Give credit to the defense. They pushed them back and set up 3rd down.
This Charger defense continuing to hold the line. Now it's a 3rd and goal situation. They'll look to run with Connor. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. This a chip shot, a 20-yarder. And Boswell's kick is good. And that's going to up the lead to 15-10. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. The Charger drive about to get going. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short in the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. Now a desperation throw deep. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
One last shot now for Rivers. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that...